Want to listen to this Ivory Tower Boiler Room or True Crime and Academia episode ad-free? Head on over to our Patreon where I'm giving you all 7 days of a free trial. So patreon.com/Ivory Tower Boiler Room. And if you join the ITBR professor level, which you'll see gets you access to all of our rewatch podcast series like Queer as Folk and Smash, and all of our Teaches series, including when we rewatched Scream with you all, when we discussed The Exorcist. We're about to do a Britney Spears memoir episode. So, oh, and The Fall of the House of Usher is coming up. You also get access to both book clubs. And while you're at it, while you're joining our Patreon, where you're getting your 7 days for free, I would really love if you make sure you like and follow us on Apple or Spotify, and please leave a review. It really does help us in terms of advertisers and sponsors. Thank you all for listening to the Ivory Tower Boiler Room Network. And it is just wonderful to be part of this arts and culture organization and have you all out there reach out to me. So again, remember, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Ivory Tower Boiler Room. And we have a Facebook and we're on X as well. Enjoy this episode, everyone.
This episode is brought to you by Snapple. Welcome to the Snapple Market Auditory Experience. Close your eyes. Imagine you're walking into your neighborhood store. You make your way to the back and reach for your favorite Snapple flavor. You can't wait. You take a sip. Whoa, that's a lot of flavor. What flavor are you holding? Now open your eyes and check out Snapple.com to find ridiculously flavorful Snapple near you.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Hi, this is Dr. Andrew Rimby. So when I'm not here in the Ivory Tower Boiler Room as the host and director of our arts and culture podcast, I am consulting because the Ivory Tower Boiler Room is not just a podcast, it's a small business. And I am officially an entrepreneur. So I've had many consulting clients, and I want to let you all know my services. So I've worked on college admission essay editing. I've worked on a graduate student's thesis. I'm currently helping advise a PhD student's dissertation. I'm working with a small business on revamping and rebranding their social media strategy and just working on new media ideas to expand their audience. So if any of that seems like a fit for you, reach out to me via email. It's ivorytowerboilerroom@gmail.com. I'm currently revamping our website, so soon I will have a consulting section on the website. So don't worry, I'll have a new ad to talk about the new exciting website updates, which will include testimonials. It'll include the different services, but for $30, you get a 1-hour private Zoom with me to talk through how I can help consult you, and then we'll figure it out from there. So ivorytowerboilerroom@gmail.com, easiest way to reach me. Also, remember we have 2 book clubs meeting on November 19th. So I'm hosting the Parachute Women Book Club. Parachute Women is about the women behind the Rolling Stones' success by Elizabeth Winder. And Mary is hosting the True Crime and Academia Book Club, which is all about haunted asylums, prisons, and sanatoriums inside abandoned institutions for the crazy, criminal, and quarantined. So to join the book clubs, head to our Patreon, patreon.com/Ivory Tower Boiler Room, and make sure you choose the specific book club you want to join. I'll see that you've joined, and then I'll make sure that I reach out to you so you get the Zoom link and you'll be there on November 19th. And I can let all of you know, in December, our book club choice is Britney Spears' The Woman in Me. So spread the word, everyone. Okay. Also, you can join the ITBR professor level and get access to both book clubs and all of our ad-free videos and audio episodes. Okay, I think I've said everything I have to say. And now here is our exciting episode.
Hey, true crime friends. Welcome back to another episode of True Crime in Academia. I'm your host, Mary DiPipi. I hope you all had a wonderful week. I hope you had a wonderful holiday. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you got to enjoy all of the amazing food, especially, if you like it. Obviously, if you hate the food, then I'm sorry you have to deal with that holiday. That sucks. But for everyone else who loves it, I hope you got to enjoy it and enjoy your time with friends and family. We always have it at my mom's house. So, we were at home. I was helping her do some of the prep stuff and, so it's always a little chaotic in that way. But, overall, it was really, really nice. I feel so cozy right now. I'm like in my sweats. I have a sheet face mask on right now. But I got a shower. So like I just feel fresh and clean and I can't wait for, to feel the results of this mask and just feel so like moisturized. I don't know why, but this time of year, it's always been this way, but like I feel like I get amnesia and just like forget. But it's like my skin just gets so dry just because it is so dry outside and the cold and, all of that stuff. So, you got to make sure you take a little extra TLC for your skin, which I feel like it always used to sound so vain. But like when you really think about it, guys, your skin is an organ. So it's just you're taking care of yourself. There's nothing to be ashamed or, to feel like it's, Gucci or Gucci. Jesus, I'm so old. Oh my God. I can't believe I just said that. That is so embarrassing. Oh my God. But you know what I mean? It always feels like an extra thing to be doing and like almost self-indulgent, But it's not. You're taking care of yourself, I need to get better with taking care of the rest of my skin. Like I always neglect my limbs and whatnot. I always, focus on my skin and my neck and my chest dégagé area, real fancy. So yeah, just make sure you're taking care of yourselves out there. Anywho, this week is a Patreon week. It should have came out the week before Thanksgiving. But I had a lot going on and, I was just really busy. So I wasn't able to get it done in time. So, and then of course we had Thanksgiving, so we didn't have, we were off that whole week. So here I am now with it, even though technically we're in December. So, it is what it is. You get 2 this month. Woohoo. But again, that's only if you're a patron. So if you're not a patron and you want to become one, go to patreon.com/Ivory Tower Boiler Room. And, become a subscriber. And then you can get access to the rest of this episode. So, this week's episode will just be a news update. So, real quick, we're going to take a little break. And then we're going to get right into this news update.
I am here with the co-owner of one of my favorite stores here in Port Jefferson Village, New York. It is called The Soapbox. So Janine said, Andrew, I have these 4 products you need to get your hands on. It's called 4 for Fall. So she's going to go over these 4 products. I know first you have a soap for me. What is the soap?
I have the soap for you. It is called Apple Cider Shea Butter Soap. It's by a company called Greenwich Bay. And this is a great soap because you can use it for your hands or your body, and it has a delicious apple cider scent. And I think you're actually already familiar with it.
Yes, it is
Tried
in
it.
my shower. I still have it. It lasts a very long
Yeah,
time.
great lather.
The lather's wonderful.
Mhm.
It's just so luxurious, and I love the scent into November.
Yes,
You know, this
it
apple
carries.
cider just it evokes so many cozy feelings.
So,
After the soap, we have something that you can add on to
yes,
in the shower. So what is this?
this is a wonderful, wonderful exfoliating shower scrub. It is by a company called Primal Almonds, and it's a sugar whip shower scrub. And the scent is pumpkin spice. It's a moisturizing sugar scrub. So it's tiny little sugar granules, and it's something that you would use after you shower twice a week because you don't want to strip your skin of your natural oils and your moisture. But it's wonderful. It just really exfoliates all that dead skin and leaves your skin very smooth and soft from all the sugar.
So after I use the exfoliant, right now we need to moisturize. So
Yes,
I know you have a really nice fall body lotion for us.
absolutely. This is just such a delicious scent. This is one of my favorites for fall. The scent is Orchard Breeze, and it's by a company called Michelle Design Works. This is another product that you can use hand and body. It's great. You can place it on your vanity, just a couple of pumps for your hands, or use it on your entire body. But it's shea butter based, so it's extremely moisturizing. It's just wonderful, and the scent is just lovely.
We need something more deep for our face. Everyone
Yes.
wants face masks, and I know that you absolutely love this company and this brand.
This is one of my favorite masks by one of my favorite companies that we carry and we support. The company is called Farmhouse Fresh, and they're right out of Texas. The mask is called Splendid Dirt, and it's a nutrient-rich mud mask. It consists of pumpkin puree, and the benefits of this mask, it's a pore minimizer, a radiance booster, and a skin degunker. So it's an all-around great mask. If you really want a boost of radiance, it brightens your skin and it really cleanses your pores.
If they live on Long Island or near Long Island, what is your address for them to come into the store?
We're located at 18 Chandler Square in Port Jefferson, New York, right in the village. And if you can't make it, you have to come in because we just have so much fun stuff in here, so many wonderful products. But if you can't make it in, please give us a call. We're more than happy to ship any of these wonderful products to you. Call us at 631-509-1424. You could always reach us on Instagram at the Soapbox NY, or you could always check us out on our website, Soapbox NY. And
Yeah, there's
I
so
think
many
that's
ways to
about it. Yeah,
access your
so many
products.
ways to reach us.
And Janine is more than happy, and Mariana, the other
Yes,
co-owner,
my mom, actually.
yes,
Yes, my mother.
are so willing to take your orders
Yes.
via phone, via Instagram, and I can't wait for everyone else to enjoy these luxurious products. Imagine that you're riding the Turner Classic Movie Great Movie Ride in Hollywood Studios. It's in the 1990s. As you're journeying through the Great Movie Ride, you pass the Wizard of Oz, where all of a sudden you see the Wicked Witch of the West ascend into Munchkinland in a cloud of smoke and flames. Well, that's the memory I have with the Great Movie Ride in classic cinema when I was at Disney in the 1990s as a young boy. And ever since that, I was hooked on classic cinema. Well, my friend Christian Garcia, friend of the Ivory Tower Boiler Room, has a podcast that you all are going to love. It's called That Old Gay Classic Cinema, and he looks at queer themes in classic cinema like Vertigo, The Wizard of Oz, Sleeping Beauty, Mary Poppins, 101 Dalmatians, Hello Dolly. The list can go on and on and on. So follow him on Instagram at That Old Gay Classic Cinema. You can listen to his podcast on Apple and Spotify. And he also is on the premiere episode of our Queer as Folk podcast, where I'm rewatching every episode of Queer as Folk from 2000. And the episodes come out bi-weekly. So make sure you listen to his episode with me. And he's launching a rewatch show of Smash, where they're putting on a Marilyn Monroe musical. So he's going to be joined by co-hosts, a lot who are in the Broadway and theater industry, and I'm going to be on his first episode. So without further ado, get listening to That Old Gay Classic Cinema. Enjoy. Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Andrew Rimby, and I'm so excited to be talking about Broadview Press. You might be asking, what is Broadview Press, Andrew? Broadview is an independent academic publisher in the humanities that produces high quality, pedagogically useful books for use in university and college classrooms. They publish in the humanities, mainly English studies, writing, philosophy, and history, just to name a few genres. And recently, I had on Dr. Jason Holt, who wrote all about the philosophy of sport. And what better summer episode than to talk about what happens when a philosopher dissects the beautiful aesthetics of sporting culture? In the spring, I had on doctors Kyle Stedman and Tanya Rodriguez to talk about what is sound writing, how to make audio projects in the college classroom, how to even have your students create podcasts. And then in the winter, I had on Dr. Jeffrey Weinstock. He talked about analyzing pop culture. Yes, I even sneak in some Real Housewives questions and how to teach composition and make it fun. He uses this whole metaphor about being a mad scientist in this gothic lab. And in the fall, I had on Dr. Ann Stevens, and she talked about literary theory and criticism. And yes, the university season is upon us. So, what better way to talk about the college classroom than to actually understand what is literary theory? That's a wonderful episode for all of you out there who teach literary studies. I love Broadview Press. Make sure you use their exclusive code. It's Ivory Tower on broadviewpress.com. You get 20% off all Broadview Press publications. Okay, until the next Broadview Press interview. And now back to the Ivory Tower Boiler Room.
This first story I wanted to look into more, but I just didn't have the time. So it's going to seem brief, and I don't want that to come off as being like insensitive in any way. I just don't have all of the details. I think I'm going to cover this specific case in an episode anyway. So, yeah. So, like I said, if it sounds like there's a lot of information missing, it's because there is. So, it's basically an update on a case that occurred over in the UK. It is the murder of Brianna Gay. So 2 teens are set to go to trial for the 16-year-old's murder. Brianna was a transgender student at Birchwood High School. And they don't say what year she was in, but I'm guessing, you know, by how old she is, she's probably year 10. So, you know, like sophomore in high school, essentially, you know. Sadly, her body was found with fatal wounds in Clucheth. Again, we know I suck at pronunciation. Clucheth Linear Park on February 11th of this year at around 3 p.m. Like I said, I'm going to try and get more information about this, but it probably will be its own episode. So far, we know, though, that 2 teens were involved, boy known as Y and girl known as X. At the time of the murder, they were 15 years old. At this current moment, they are now 16. The teens, X and Y, were set to be seen at Manchester Crown Court this past Monday. I haven't seen an update on that yet, but I'm assuming that it is happening. And it's suspected that, or expected, I should say, the trial to last between 3 and 4 weeks. Which it seems like it's short, but also at the same time, maybe not at all. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar. I mean, obviously, the more complex, the more people, things like that, the longer cases go on. However, we're going to get to, and also this is Manchester. Like I said, this is the UK. This isn't the US. So maybe their timelines are different. The next case we're going to talk about in a second is not very similar, but sort of similar. And the time frame, I know for a fact, is quite long. So just interesting to point that out. A jury was also supposed to be selected on Monday, like this past Monday. So far, the only evidence that I've seen that has been released to the public are text messages between X and Y. And in those texts, you can see that they both have a very intense, I would even call it like an obsession with torture. So, like I said, I'm going to monitor this and, I will maybe update here and there, but we will see what happens. It's just so sad. So sad. The next case, like I said, it kind of feels similar, not necessarily. However, though, it is a case that I did cover. We're finally getting, the full-blown conclusion. This was the final piece of it, I guess. So the second murderer of the Fairfield High School Spanish teacher, Noema Graber, he has finally been sentenced. On November 15th, literally last week or 2 weeks ago, Jeremy Goodale, who is now 18, at the time I think he was 16, maybe 17. So, it's longer time frame, clearly, than this. But maybe, again, because of sentencing. Which actually, that would make sense. I feel never mind. They're not really that connected. It's not that. Just kidding. Strike my comment that I said from the record. Obviously, once you've been convicted, it can take a while to get sentenced. Duh. Anyway, the 18-year-old, freshly new adult in the eyes of government, has been sentenced to life with the possibility of parole after 25 years. Now, before his sentencing, Jeremy Goodale did apologize to Noema Graber's family, his community, and his family. He says, quote, "I'm sorry, truly sorry. What I've taken can never be replaced. Every day I wish I could go back and stop myself, prevent this loss and this pain that I've caused everyone." End quote.
LGBT stories are universal, but each one speaks to the individual heart and soul of the writer telling it. Do you have a story to tell? Or have you been moved by an LGBT book, film, painting, television show, or other form of media? Then the Gay and Lesbian Review wants to hear from you. The GNLR believes in bringing awareness to queer art and artists through reviews, commentary, and thought pieces in which the author relates their personal lives to a particular piece of art, a novel, a movie. In addition to the print magazine, the GNLR also publishes articles on its blog. So you can see all of this on glreview.org. That's glreview.org. Remember, you get 50% off your subscription of the GL Review magazine when you use the promo code ITBR50. That's 50% off your print or digital subscription when you use promo code ITBR50. To learn more about submitting an article for the GNLR, visit their writer's guidelines. The link is located at the bottom of their homepage. And if you have any questions, email Stephen Hemrick. That's STEPHENRICK@glreview.org. The GNLR and its readers can't wait to see what you have to say. Hi, this is Dr. Andrew Rimby, and I'm so excited to shout out the Gay and Lesbian Review, who is helping to sponsor the ITBR podcast. For all of you out there, the Gay and Lesbian Review is a bi-monthly magazine where you can discover new things about gay and lesbian literature, history, and culture. And the GL Review publishes essays in a wide range of disciplines, as well as a slew of reviews of books, plays, and movies, and a number of special features, such as artist profiles and their popular art memo column. Each issue of the magazine brings you consistently intelligent, lively, thought-provoking articles focused on a unifying theme. For example, their September-October issue centers on the theme Cracking the Closet. So, starting in the 19th century, a number of artists and writers found ways to crack the closet by expressing their sexuality between the lines or in the interstices of their work. For example, Ignacio Darnad, who is a friend of the ITBR podcast, he's been on our show, writes all about illustrator J.C. Leyendecker, whose work for Ivory Soap and Arrow Collars gave him plenty of opportunities to draw pictures of well-dressed and at times scantily dressed American men. And you also can find an article by Vernon Rosario, who has been on the podcast, and he talks about the quest for sex in the Middle Ages. So, to subscribe, visit glreview.org. That's glreview.org. Click subscribe. So on their website, go all the way over to the right-hand side and you'll see the button subscribe. Click subscribe and enter the promo code ITBR50 because you're getting 50% off your subscription to the print or digital edition of the Gay and Lesbian Review magazine. I can't wait for you all to have your copy of the Gay and Lesbian Review magazine, and make sure that you take a picture when your magazine arrives or when you're reading it online and tag the GL Review on Instagram and ITBR, and we'll share it out in our stories. Enjoy your reading, everyone. Hi, everyone. Happy almost holiday season. Because the holidays are upon us, I'm sure so many of you out there are thinking, oh my, what am I going to get my friends, my family, my children, my romantic partner, my husband, my wife, any, significant person in your life? Look no further than my good friend Mandy Bengal, who makes handmade crocheted items. Her company is called Mandy Made It. You can follow her on Instagram at MANDEE Made It. And you will see all of these crocheted items that she's going to be able to customize for you, including special characters, sports team figures, even holiday items like a snowflake or a Christmas tree. So I have Mandy's keychains. I have the poison apple from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I have a rainbow flag that she made me. So Mandy is able to really customize an order just depending on what your hobbies and passions are, and what item you're really looking for. So because you're listening to me talk about Mandy, she said that anyone who goes to Mandy Made It on Instagram and orders from her, and they've heard the Ivory Tower Boiler Room ad, she will give you all a free Ivory Tower Boiler Room t-shirt with your order. So head right now to Mandy Made It. If you were really looking for that special gift, now you don't have to look any further because I have you covered with Mandy Made It. Okay, I hope you all enjoy your items from Mandy Made It. And please make sure that you take a photo of your crocheted items so that we can share it out on our social media. I know Mandy would love that, and I would love to see what you all are ordering from her. She even has an adorable pillow called Netflix and Chill, and she has these cute coasters that she crochets for your favorite coffee or tea mug. So enjoy all your Mandy Made It products.
Alex Murdaugh is back in the news again and the courts again. On Tuesday, after pleading guilty to 24 state financial crimes, Mr. Murdaugh was sentenced to an additional 27 years in jail. At this point, obviously the due process needs to happen, but I'm sure for him at this point, he's kind of just like, what else can they do? He's already serving life sentences for killing his wife and son. So, what's 27 more years, right? His charges include money laundering, breach of trust, conspiracy, forgery, and, of course, tax evasion. Now, this next one, I'm only going to talk about it really quick because I really just don't want to give this man any more attention. The only reason I wanted to talk about it is because not that I'd been waiting, but I didn't realize it was going to take this long. Derek Chauvin, the convicted cop killer of George Floyd and just overall piece of shit human being because he was doing this to other people besides him, he was recently stabbed in prison. It wasn't fatal, so he's recovering. And like I said, I'm just shocked. I really thought this would have happened sooner. So yeah, there's that. CBS investigated a Mars cocoa farm in Ghana and allegedly discovered children as young as 5 years old harvesting cocoa plants with machetes. Now, CBS has allegedly obtained copies of the lists of children who were quote-unquote employed. Clearly, they forgot how to spell the word exploited. So, allegedly as well, some of them still work there, but they have this list, and that is, they're going through and they are talking to the children on this list and basically verify the information. And like I said, from what they found, some of them allegedly still work there. One of the alleged victims, a 15-year-old girl, stated that she worked in the field since she was 5. To her, education is considered a luxury. And that just hurts my heart so, so much. Like, every child should be able to access education. Like, the idea that these poor kids have to do this, it's so sad to me. Like, I fucking hate it. If that weren't bad enough, the pay isn't decent either. Now, keep in mind that these are children and adult workers who are working in sweltering heat, like horrific conditions, almost, just because of the heat. So they can only, for a 140-pound bag of cocoa, that is only worth around $115. So for all that fucking work, that's all they get. It's insane. Allegedly, last year, field supervisors contracted by Mars came to, the farms and gave the children book bags with the slogan, quote, allegedly, quote, "I am a child, I play, I go to school," end quote. According to CBS, no one has been back there since to check if these children were in fact going to school. Now, of course, a spokesperson for Mars denies these claims, and of course claims that the company itself condemns child labor. Then, of course, they also turn around and basically blame it on their suppliers for this, essentially. Like, they're basically like, well, we were told that they would be following this, and this. So, it's not our fault. We thought that that's what they were doing. But for as big of a company as they are, they should have been fucking checking on that. Or they should have done more research into it. They're just trying to cover their asses, obviously, but you don't have to be a brain surgeon to understand that, like, this company should have been checking these farms to make sure that they weren't using child labor, And if the whole backpack story is true, then that's just proof that they fucking knew what was going on. So hopefully, they will be, found out. Hopefully more of an investigation will occur and, these kids can fucking go to school. Or at least, hopefully their parents or something get some sort of settlement or, just I hope that they can get have better lives and have a good outcome, from all of this. All right, my loves, that is all I have for you for this week. Don't worry, next week we'll be back to our normally scheduled program. As always, thank you guys so much for listening. It truly means so much to me to have your support and that you're enjoying the podcast, and I love doing it. So thank you all for giving me a reason to continue doing it. I just thank you. It means so, so, so much to me. Don't forget to follow True Crime in Academia on social media. On Instagram and TikTok, I'm at True Crime in Academia, and on Threads too. And for X, Twitter, we are at TC in Academia. Also, if you want to listen to the Patreon episode, like I said at the top, go to patreon.com/Ivory Tower Boiler Room and become a subscriber today. All right, until next week, my loves, I will see you all later. All right, my true crime friends, that is all I have for you this week. Don't forget to follow True Crime in Academia on social media. On Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, we are at True Crime in Academia. And on X, formerly known as Twitter, we are at TC in Academia. T as in Tom, C as in Charlie in academia. Also, do not forget to like, rate, subscribe, and follow on whichever platform you are listening to this podcast. It helps us in the end of the day, or not in, at the end of the day. And, if you could also go to patreon.com/Ivory Tower Boiler Room and subscribe that way and buy me a cup of coffee once a month, that would also be great as well. Whatever you can do, though, my loves, I understand this economy sucks. But until next week, my loves, I will see you all later.